And then they'll each come up and do a little background on who they are. And after that, you can open it up for questions. On the far right is Luke Storey. He's the founder of School of Style. He's actually a stylist himself, so he knows what it takes on the ins and outs to establish the career, the professionalism on the job, just what it takes to make it in the industry. So you'll be hearing from him this evening.
Take the bumps out of the road, but Monica and I actually met years ago when we were both broadman assistants, right? We were kind of in the trenches together, so it's cool to see her kind of, as she's come up and done her thing and become awesome and fabulous. So let me see, I think I'll start. The biggest question I think I get from people that want to get into styling is, A, how did you get into it? People ask me that for years and years, right? That's like the question, how did you become a stylist? And it probably pisses some people off, but I just kind of really fell into it. It wasn't something that I started out wanting to do. I was playing in bands and, I was like a starving artist kind of musician kid, and I guess I was a kid at that time, maybe like about to be an adult. And a good friend of mine was a stylist, and I was homeless like most musicians are. And I was house sitting for her. She was on tour. She was a big stylist from New York, and I was house sitting for her. She was on tour with Tina Turner. And she would call me and just have me like FedEx things and do returns around town and stuff like that. And, pay me a couple bucks. I guess I was basically interning. And, she would always yell at me because I didn't know how to pronounce Dolce & Gabbana. I had no clue. What I did, I think, have going for me was I had kind of an eye, and I think maybe that's one of the things that I have going for me now is, I just have a feeling when something looks right and when it doesn't. It seems people agree with me because now they're feeling to say that. But I just started working for her and I was totally clueless, and I still was pursuing music, so I didn't really want to be a stylist per se, but it was a really good day job. And what happened was her assistant, who was like a qualified assistant that knew how to pronounce Dolce & Gabbana, knew how to fill out a FedEx slip and everything, which I didn't, skipped town or something like that, and she was from New York, so she didn't know anyone else. So I became her like real assistant, and that started out over the course of the summer. And she had like Aerosmith as a client at that time, and so I went from like knowing absolutely nothing about styling or assisting to like having Steven Tyler in my face yelling at me because I altered his jeans wrong. You know what I mean? Like it was a total culture shock and just like an immense amount of pressure, and I had absolutely no clue what I was doing. But luckily, because I had so much work during a short amount of time, I learned pretty fast, and as a result I went and assisted a lot of other stylists that I met in those first couple of years, and I assisted for a long time, whereas most people, I don't know, how long did you assist? You didn't even... Oh, okay. Okay, so she did it backwards, alright, so she was luckier than I assisted forever, and I kind of kept doing it. Most people, I think, do it for, maybe a year or two. They start taking some of their own jobs. I assisted forever because it wasn't really something that I wanted to pursue at that time. And then something sort of clicked at some point, maybe 4 or 5 years into it, and that was, this is actually a much better career than trying to make it as a musician. I think that people, they really think that you just like hang out with celebrities, have champagne at Barney's for lunch, and you just like run around and be fabulous. And it's actually, although it's fun and it's very fulfilling, otherwise none of us would be doing it, but it is really a grind. It's really hard work. And in addition to the part where you actually style someone and you dress someone, I would say that if you broke it down into time, the time you actually spend putting an outfit together, putting looks together, is probably 20% of the job, if that, maybe even 10 in some cases. The rest of it is all about email. It's about making phone calls, finding new designers, reaching out to showrooms, sitting in a costume house, digging through police uniforms, or finding accessories, or whatever it is that you're working on, and then the time where you finally get to do the fitting and dress someone at the shoot is done with like that. It just goes by really fast, and the rest of the time you're running your business. So as a stylist, there is a creative aspect to it, but also you're running a business. So it's very unique in that way, and I think that's why it's one of those things that nobody really knows how to get into, because you can't go get a degree being a stylist and then just shop your resume around on Monster.com and become a stylist. It's a very sort of weird, esoteric job or career, and people don't really know how you get into it or what you actually do. And so that's kind of what I like to share with people, and really why I started the school.